Welcome to the Tampa Housing Authority's online voucher orientation for project-based Section 8 and RAD. The purpose of this orientation is to help you understand the Housing Choice Voucher Program and its requirements. If you have any questions or concerns regarding the program, please make sure you contact your assigned PB-RAD housing specialist.
There are many ways we can be contacted. If you do not know the extension of the person you are trying to reach, you can contact our customer service department at 813-253-0551, extension 1000. The best way to reach us is via email using our firstname.lastname@thafl.com. Or you can reach us via our website at thafl.com/departments/assisted housing. Here is a screenshot from our website. Once you go to thafl.com/departments/assisted housing, you need to click on the Contact Our Team link. There is a drop-down box where you can select a staff member to find the person you are trying to reach. It will provide their contact information and their walk-in availability. You also have the option to email them directly from this location as well.
The Tampa Housing Authority currently assists over 10,000 families and is the second largest housing authority in the state of Florida. The current and projected number of project-based units is over 2,500. The Assisted Housing Department has a staff of over 75 people, and the Tampa Housing Authority employs over 250 people. The significant difference between the tenant-based voucher and the project-based voucher is that the project-based voucher is attached to a specific unit. Since the assistance is tied to the unit, a family who moves from the project-based unit does not have any right to continued housing assistance. After 1 year, a family may be eligible for a tenant-based voucher when and if one becomes available.
The Section 8 program is not an entitlement program. All candidates must meet eligibility requirements. Most families come on the program through the waiting list. Under fair housing laws, every citizen is assured the opportunity to build a better life in the home or apartment of their choice, regardless of their race, color, religion, sex, national origin, family status, or disability. Included in the briefing packet, which is now on our website under Documents and Forms, is the attached brochure. This brochure contains the information you will need if you feel that you are being discriminated against for fair housing. As a program participant, you have family obligations that must be met. Failure to meet these obligations will result in termination from the program. In the next few slides, we will go over the family obligations. These obligations are provided at every annual recertification, in which you must acknowledge receiving and reading them. A copy is also included in the online briefing packet, and most are also listed on the back of your Housing Choice voucher. A family must supply any information that the Housing Authority or HUD determines necessary, including evidence of citizenship or eligible immigration status. A family must disclose and verify Social Security numbers and sign and submit consent forms for obtaining information. Any and all information supplied must be true and complete. A family must supply in writing via an interim change form any family income increases and changes of household composition within 10 days. Interim change forms are located in our lobby or on our website under Documents and Forms. You must promptly notify us of the birth, adoption, or court-awarded custody of a child. Notarized statements alone are not acceptable. You need to request Housing Authority and owner written approval to add any other family member as an occupant of the unit. You also must promptly notify us in writing if any family member no longer lives in the unit. Third-party written verification will be required to prove the move. You must supply any information requested by the Housing Authority to verify that the family is living in the unit or information related to family absence from the unit, and must promptly notify the Housing Authority and your landlord in writing when the family is away from the unit for an extended period of time more than 30 days. You must also allow the Housing Authority to inspect the unit at reasonable times and after reasonable notice, and allow owners and managers access to the unit to make necessary repairs when given reasonable notice. For example, the landlord should not come by your unit at 10 p.m. at night to make repairs. Remember reasonable notice for reasonable times. For more information on landlord-tenant law from the Florida statutes, visit our website under Documents and Forms. The family must give the owner the required number of days written notice of intent to vacate specified in the lease and must also give a copy to THA. The notice should not be less than 30 days. Remember, the lease is between you and the landlord. The Tampa Housing Authority is not a party to the lease. During the initial term of the lease, you will not be permitted to move unless you are a person with disabilities requesting a reasonable accommodation. The family must use the assisted unit for residence by the family, and it must be the family's only residence. You must pay your utility bills and provide and maintain any appliances that the owner is not required to provide under the lease. Utilities that are the responsibility of the family can only be in the name of the head of household, spouse, co-head, or adult household member. Utilities turned off is a 24-hour HQS violation. If you have an outstanding debt, it is highly recommended that you address it. You also must attend all scheduled appointments. To be successful on this program, you must communicate with your housing specialist. If you cannot keep your appointments, please discuss this with them. Families must not own or have any interest in the unit. You must not commit any serious or repeated violation of the lease. Be aware of clauses in the lease such as cutting grass, changing air filters, taking out trash, late fees, damage fees, etc. Make sure you read the lease and know your responsibilities. A family must not commit fraud, bribery, or any other corrupt or criminal act in connection with the program. When someone purposely withholds information in order to obtain subsidy or additional subsidy, it is considered fraud. Examples of fraud include lying or omitting information on your application and not informing THA in writing of any household or income changes, whether it's an increase or a decrease. The family must not participate in illegal drug or violent criminal activity or be a sexual predator. It does not matter if the charge was a felony or a misdemeanor. This applies to all family members and guests of family members. In an effort to prevent future drug-related and other criminal activity, the Tampa Housing Authority will endeavor to screen applicants as thoroughly and fairly as possible. Such screening will be conducted at least once a year and will apply to any member of the household who is 18 years of age or older. The family also must not engage in illegal use of a controlled substance or abuse of alcohol that threatens the health and safety or right to peaceful enjoyment of the premises by other residents. This could include parties that get out of control. A family must not engage in abuse, threats, or violent acts towards any THA Section 8 employee. A family must not sublease or let the unit or assign the lease or transfer the unit. A family must not receive Section 8 assistance while receiving another housing subsidy. A family must not receive Section 8 assistance while residing in a unit owned by a parent, child, grandparent, grandchild, sister or brother, or any member of the family, unless approving the unit would provide reasonable accommodation for a family member who is a person with disabilities. A family must not damage the unit or premises other than damage from ordinary wear and tear, or permit any guest to damage the unit or premises. You are responsible for any housing quality standards breaches caused by the family. Inspections are conducted by either our in-house inspector or CGI Federal. Anyone 18 years or older can be present for an inspection. It does not have to be the head of household or a family member. The Tampa Housing Authority conducts 4 different types of inspections. We conduct initial inspections, which is for new move-ins or relocations. For new inspections that fail, we will not conduct a second inspection until requested by the owner. If an initial inspection fails for non-life-threatening items, the tenant may be approved to move in. However, the owner needs to make the repairs within 30 days and tenant needs to approve of the repairs. You will be notified if you are eligible for this. We also conduct special inspections. This is for specific items that might be requested by tenant, landlord, or even the housing authority. We conduct quality control inspections. These are randomly selected and it is to double check the work or quality of another inspector. Finally, we conduct annual inspections. These must be conducted 12 months from the last annual inspection. This is a HUD requirement and in most cases cannot be rescheduled. Biannual inspections is a new feature where we would conduct the regular annual inspection every other year, but only if the previous annual inspection passed on the first visit. This is only for annual inspections. Failed inspections need to be re-inspected within 30 days, and most special inspections within 15 days to 24 hours, depending on the failed item. All units must be inspected and must pass housing quality standards, and there are consequences if they are not done. If you miss 2 scheduled inspections, it will result in you receiving an intent to terminate letter. If there are 2 failed inspections that have tenant-related damages, it will result in an intent to terminate letter as you are responsible for your part in the maintenance of the unit. Letters will be sent to you regarding any damages that you are responsible for. The next few slides are examples of tenant-related damages that we have seen over time. However, if there are 2 failed inspections that have owner-related damages, the unit will go into abatement the following month. An abatement is when the Housing Authority withholds housing assistance payments until the unit passes inspection. Once the unit passes inspection, the payment will then be released going forward from the date the unit passes. Payments prior to the abatement are lost and cannot be recovered or attributed to the tenant. Then the tenant will be asked to relocate due to substandard conditions. If the landlord still wishes for a third inspection, he will have to pay a fee of $30. This can be done on the online landlord portal. The link for this portal is on our website. Tenants must pay their rental portion even if the unit is in abatement, as the landlord can still proceed with an eviction for non-payment of rent. This is an example of an intent to terminate notice. If you receive a termination notice and do not agree with THA's decision to terminate, a request for an informal hearing must be made in writing within 10 days from the date on the letter. Failure to submit a request or not providing a timely request will result in termination of your assistance. If you're terminated from the program, there is currently a 5-year sanction throughout the country. A request for an informal hearing must be received in writing by the close of business day no later than 10 days from the date of the notification you are disputing. After a hearing date is set, the family may request to reschedule only upon showing good cause, which is defined as an unavoidable conflict which seriously affects the health, safety, and welfare of the family. If the family does not appear at the scheduled time and did not make arrangements in advance, THA will not automatically reschedule the hearing. The Family Self-Sufficiency Program is a program that is offered here at the Tampa Housing Authority and is for individuals who are interested in becoming independent and free of public assistance. The Tampa Housing Authority has the largest FSS program in the state of Florida. One of the many benefits of the program is the interest-bearing escrow account, where we set aside money for you whenever you have an increase in earnings from your employment. You need to have the desire to either obtain higher education and/or become employed. If this is a program you think you are interested in, a brochure can be found in the online briefing packet, or you can visit the website and click on the Family Self-Sufficiency link. The Home Ownership Program is another program that is offered here at the Tampa Housing Authority, where the assistance payments will go towards a mortgage on your home instead of rent. Qualified Tampa Housing Authority program participants are now able to use their Housing Choice vouchers towards home mortgages of their own. If this is something you're interested in, more information can be found in the brochure in the online briefing packet or on our website at the Home Ownership link. In this next section, we will go over calculations and how your rent portion is determined. Annual income means all amounts of income that go to any family member in the household. Once we verify all sources of income, we must convert reported income to a yearly figure. All housing authorities are required to use gross income. That is the income you receive before taxes. Adjusted income is the annual income minus any eligible deductions. The eligible deductions are $480 for each dependent, for example, any minor children. $400 for any family where the head of house or spouse is elderly or disabled. Childcare expenses, medical expenses for an elderly or disabled family, and disability assistance expenses for a disabled family member to work. These are the only allowed deductions by HUD. We cannot use your car note or car insurance, for example. Here is an example of calculating adjusted annual income. A single mother with 3 children is working and has children under the age of 13 in daycare. Her gross income, or her salary, is $16,600. She has 3 kids, so her dependent deductions are $480 times 3. That equals $1,440. Her daycare is $100 a week, so that equals $5,200. If you take her gross income of $16,600 minus her deductions of $1,440 and $5,200, her adjusted annual income is $9,960. Her tenant rent portion is now based on the adjusted annual income instead of the gross income. Now we will calculate her total tenant payment. The total tenant payment, or TTP, represents the minimum amount a family must contribute towards rent and utilities. This is usually 30% of the adjusted annual income. Using her adjusted annual income of $9,960, divide it by 12 months to find the monthly adjusted income. This equals $830. You then multiply that by 30% to get $249. $249 is the minimum amount this family will pay towards rent and utilities. Note, this is the minimum amount, not the actual amount she will pay in rent. Before we can calculate what the rent portions are, we need additional information. We need to know the rent to owner, also known as the contract rent, which is the amount that the owner is requesting. We also need to know the utility allowance, as determined based on the unit type, bedroom size, and responsibility of services. The rent to owner plus the utility allowance equals the gross rent.
The HAP, or the Housing Assistance Payment, is the portion that Tampa Housing Authority will pay on behalf of the tenant. The HAP is the gross rent minus the TTP.
Once you find a unit you like and can afford, you will have the landlord fill out the request for tenancy approval. The landlord will complete all sections highlighted in orange, and you will complete all sections highlighted in yellow. Please note this form needs both yours and the landlord's signature on page 2 in order to be accepted. Once the RFTA is submitted to our office, your housing specialist will check to see if you qualify for the rent requested. If so, they will forward this to the landlord liaison to verify the landlord has submitted all necessary documents. Once confirmed, this will be sent to the inspections department for scheduling. As part of your RFTA, you have also been given a disclosure of information on lead-based paint. This is mandatory that landlord and tenant complete this form for all units built before 1978. The landlord must complete the sections highlighted in orange, and you will complete the sections highlighted in yellow. This is the brochure regarding lead-based paint. It can be found in your briefing packet on our website. Lead-based paint can be dangerous, especially to small children and pregnant women. Please review this information to see how you can protect yourself from lead-based paint. Inspections take 10 to 14 business days to schedule. The inspections department will email the landlord with the date and time, and the landlord will need to confirm the inspection. If you would like to know when the inspection is scheduled for, please keep in contact with the landlord. Once the unit has passed inspection, it can take 3 to 5 business days for your housing specialist to approve the unit, as they have to confirm that it also passed a rent reasonableness test. We must determine whether the rent the owner is requesting is reasonable in comparison to other comparable unassisted units. To make this determination, THA must consider the location, size, unit type, age of the unit, amenities, housing services, maintenance, and utilities to be provided by the owner in accordance to the lease. In the event the rent does not pass, the owner must decrease the contract rent, or the tenant needs to find another unit. Owners can provide their own comparables for review if they dispute the amount. Once approved by your housing specialist, you may move into the unit. A portion letter will be sent to you when the executed lease is received. Do not sign a lease or move into the unit before it has been approved, or else you are subject to that contract and could lose your assistance if the unit is not approved for any reason. If you have any further questions, please contact your housing specialist directly via email. Here are some final tips. Avoid finding units that are not vacant now. Look at the unit. Security deposits may not exceed those charged to unassisted tenants. THA does not pay security deposits. View the unit at different times, nights and weekends. You must be in good final standings and follow your current lease by paying all rent and giving move-out notice to the property manager. If you are wanting to rent a house, this could mean larger square footage with a higher utility bill. Read the lease and ask questions before signing. Never sign a blank lease. Application fees are generally non-refundable, and you should inquire on the eligibility criteria. THA does not pay application fees. Utilities have to be in a household member's name. The landlord cannot bill you for something he pays. Remember, you have a portion of rent to pay, so plan ahead. Once the inspection is complete and we say it's okay to move, you should have the security deposit and rent ready to meet with the owner. Utilities must be on for the inspection. If a landlord refuses to turn them on, it is your decision if you turn them on. We don't advise this, as you have no right to the unit as of yet. The most common landlord violation is the responsibility of utilities. Please know what you are responsible for. Thank you for listening to this presentation. We went over a lot of material, but it is necessary to help guide you through our program. Please make sure you continually review the briefing packet on our website, as it too contains a lot of valuable information. Your next steps are to complete this briefing certification form and return it to your housing specialist. By signing it, you are saying you have completed this presentation and have reviewed the briefing packet online. Now you're free to go find a unit with the materials you've been given. Please contact your housing specialist with any further questions.